One night, little Johnny went to sleep and dreamt his Uncle Bill died. He woke up, and that evening, his dad got a call saying that Uncle Bill died. The next night, little Johnny went to sleep and dreamt his Aunt Joy died. He woke up, and then that evening, his dad got a call saying that Aunt Joy died. Little Johnny told his daddy,
2 days ago, I had a dream Uncle Bill died, and then yesterday, I had a dream Aunt Joy died.
His dad said, "That's just a coincidence." The next morning, he tells his dad,
I had a dream that my dad died.
His dad was terrified. He had a terrible day at work and took every precaution. He didn't eat any of the food in case of food poisoning, and he drove slowly in case of a car wreck. When he finally got home, little Johnny's mom asked him how his day at work was. "Much worse than your day, I'm sure," his dad replied.
I don't know,
said his mom.
The milkman dropped dead on the front porch today.
The teacher asks the class to use the word fascinate in a sentence. Molly puts up her hand and says,
My family went to my granddad's farm and we all saw his pet sheep. It was fascinating.
The teacher says,
That was good. But I wanted you to use the word fascinate, not fascinating.
Caroline raised her hand. She says,
My family went to see New York City and I was fascinated.
The teacher sighs and says,
Well, that was good, Caroline, but I wanted you to use the word fascinate.
Then little Johnny raises his hand. The teacher knows he is a bit of a scamp, but she is desperate to finish this lesson and she cannot see how he can possibly damage the word fascinate. The teacher points to Johnny and says,
Okay, Johnny, please use the word fascinate in a sentence.
Little Johnny says,
My Aunt Carolyn has a sweater with 10 buttons. But her breasts are so big, she can only fascinate.
Little Johnny is lying in bed, busting to go to the toilet. So he gets out of bed, runs downstairs into the living room, and finds his mother chatting to a bunch of her friends.
Mommy!
Johnny yells at the top of his voice.
I gotta pee!
Well, needless to say, the mother is mortified at her son's language in front of her guests and scolds the young boy.
Johnny, we do not shout that word in this house. Next time, just whisper, okay?
Little Johnny nods sheepishly. His mother takes him to the bathroom and tucks him back into bed. The next night, little Johnny is busting to go to the toilet again. So he gets out of bed, runs downstairs into the living room, and there is his mother having a glass of wine with her friends.
Mommy, I gotta whisper,
he says. His mother excuses herself and takes Johnny to the bathroom, smiling at her son's innocent mistake, but relieved that he was at least more discreet than last time. She then takes Johnny back upstairs and tucks him into bed.
Well done, sweetie,
she says, kissing him goodnight.
That was much more polite.
A few nights go by and, lo and behold, little Johnny is busting to go to the toilet again. So he gets out of bed, runs downstairs into the living room, and there is his dad watching TV.
Daddy,
Johnny says softly,
I gotta whisper.
Aw, is that so, little buddy?
says his dad, his eyes fixed on the television.
Come on over here. And whisper in Daddy's ear.
Little Johnny gets on a bus, sits next to a man reading a book, and notices he has his collar on backwards. Johnny asks,
Hey, mister, why do you wear your collar that way?
The man, who is a priest, replies,
Because I am a father.
Little Johnny says,
My daddy doesn't wear his collar like that.
The priest looks up from his book and responds,
I am the father of many.
Johnny says,
My dad has 4 boys, 4 girls, and 2 grandchildren, and he doesn't wear his collar that way.
The priest, getting impatient, replies,
I am the father of hundreds.
Then goes back to reading his book. Little Johnny sits quietly for the remainder of the trip. Upon leaving the bus, he leans over to the priest and says,
Well, maybe you should wear your pants backwards instead of your collar.
Little Johnny and another boy were lying next to each other in a hospital. The boy asked Little Johnny,
What are you in here for?
Little Johnny replied,
I'm in here to get my tonsils out, and I'm a little nervous.
Tonsils? A piece of cake,
said the boy.
They put you to sleep, and when you wake up, they give you lots of Jell-O and ice cream.
So, what are you in here for?
Asked Little Johnny. The boy replied,
Well, I'm here for a circumcision.
Little Johnny screamed,
No, don't go there! I had that done when I was born. And I couldn't walk for a year!
A woman is having an affair during the day while her husband is at work. Her 9-year-old son comes home unexpectedly, sees them, and sneaks into the bedroom closet. A few minutes later, the woman hears her husband arrive home. She hurriedly hides her lover in the closet, not knowing the boy was also hiding in there. The little boy says,
It sure is dark in here.
The man replies, Yes, it is. Then the boy says,
I have a baseball.
The man says, That's nice.
Wanna buy it?
Asks the boy. No thanks, the man answers.
My dad's outside.
Pipes up the boy. The man sighs. Okay, how much?
$250,
says the boy. The man sighs. Okay, fine. A few weeks later, the lover finds himself in the closet with the boy again. The boy says,
It sure is dark in here.
The man responds, Yes, it is.
I have a baseball glove.
The lover, remembering the last time, asks the boy, How much?
$750,
Says the boy. The man sighs again. Fine. A few days later, the father says to the boy, Grab your glove. Let's go outside and have a game of catch. The boy says,
I can't. I sold my baseball and my glove.
The father asks, How much did you sell them for? The boy grins.
$1,000.
The father says, It's terrible to overcharge your friends like that. That's way more than they cost new. I'm taking you to church so you can confess. When they arrive at the church, the father tells the little boy to sit in the confession booth and he closes the door. The boy says,
It sure is dark in here.
The priest says, Okay, young man. How much this time?